You are about to witness history in the making.
Hi guys, welcome to another Pop Culture Gamers podcast. I'm your host for this evening, Steve, and of course Hayden's alongside me. How are you doing, pal?
I'm doing fine, thanks, Steve.
Jolly good. We haven't really spoken again much this week. We've been on the quiet terms, I think.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I've been absolutely cream crackered this week. I think it's the first time in I can't remember how long that I actually went to bed before midnight.
Oh, really?
Really, absolutely.
Is it because of work or?
Yeah, I've been doing longer hours at work, but just to kind of like close off work that I need to do before I was going on annual leave,
right?
Which I'm now on until a week on Tuesday,
which is the day after bank holiday. Yeah.
Yes, it is. So, because of the project was on, we had to sort of like get a couple of bits finished. And me and my colleague, we were both working very hard to get there. We did, eventually. So that's a good thing.
Cool. And happy birthday, by the way.
Yes, thank you. And thank you to everyone for all of the birthday wishes that I got sent through as well. So I really appreciate it. It made my day.
It's getting old, isn't it?
It is. I'm the same age as my wife again, but she'll soon be ahead of me again.
Well, as we're carrying on from there, so what'd you get for your birthday then?
Money, mainly. My two sort of like biggest presents was cash, but I also got a set of AirPods. The actual Apple ones.
I don't like the idea of those things because they can fall out and drop and lose them. And
well, I can tell you one thing right now. I can stick them in my ears and shake my head around quite vigorously and they stay completely still. And
still say, Captain, hailing all frequencies.
Yeah. But no, a really good sound quality, very happy with them. I didn't get the ones with the wireless charger case because, to be honest, I really don't see the point. I haven't got a wireless charger,
right? So
I just got the AirPod 2s, but with the charge case. So when you take them out, rather than the size of them, you'd lose them. You stick them into the case, and then it charges them up, ready for the next time.
Oh, okay.
And a 15-minute charge gives 3 hours of listening, which isn't too bad at all. But nice range on them, very, very clear sound. Very happy with them. And, they look good. So, although they look a bit weird sticking out your ears, like Star Trek sort of thing.
It's odd, isn't it? It's anything for an upgrade. That's like when we put some in our ears and we're well away.
Yeah, but I've been after some for a while, and I've just not been able to really settle on Bluetooth headphones that I've been happy with.
Right.
But then I thought, yeah, I quite fancy these ones. So I ended up getting them. I also went and spent all my birthday money in HMV.
No, on movies by any chance?
On movies, yes. I did buy a few. So I got the RoboCop trilogy of the original ones, RoboCop 1, 2,
these
and
all
3.
Blu-rays, yeah?
Or either Blu-rays or HD Blu-rays. Or 4K, Ultra HD. So RoboCop, normal Blu-ray, that trilogy. I got Dune, finally got Dune. I'm not sure which version it is, but I think there's only one version anyway that's on Blu-ray. I got 2010 on Blu-ray, not 4K, because it's not out on 4K. Venom in 4K, and I got that for half price because I'd bought something else from HMV and it was on an offer.
Yeah.
I got Dark City, which I've talked about a few times. And Hellboy as well. And then my son got me, or I should say, I got me at the request of my wife for my son, if you know what I mean. The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable and Signs in a box set.
Oh, okay.
So I've got a few movies to watch.
That will keep you busy for a bit, won't it?
A day or two.
But if you're going to be off for a week, I suppose you'll probably cane them all, won't you?
Well, I've already been, already started on them. I've watched a couple of them. So,
cool.
Yeah. So I'm a happy bunny because I do like my movies. So, yeah.
Oh.
What about yourself?
Well, being on call, it's been a bit of a quiet week. But a couple of things. So, as I've said about, excuse me, I still need that bourbon, I think, in a minute to get his throat ridden. I had a Twitter, I just posted, I've been sort of always on Twitter, like constantly on there, just if I'm ever doing nothing. And I put a tweet out because it was Max von Sydow's birthday, who, as you know, is Ming the Merciless to you. And to me, he plays Father Merrin in The Exorcist.
Yes.
And he's hitting 90, believe it or not.
I thought he was older than that, I thought it was about 93.
Yeah, no, it's his 90th birthday.
Oh.
So I just put a tweet out there about it, tagged the certain people that would be related to it, whatever. And by the end of this week, it's gone up to 240 likes and 49 retweets.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll have a browse at these retweets just out of curiosity. And my jaw hit the floor when I saw Hideo Kojami, I can never say his name, had retweeted it. The god of gaming. Of all people. And I went into his account and had a look and saw it on there. And he is a fan of Mike Oldfield.
Yeah.
So there's the link there, because I saw another one where there was to do with Tubular Bells. So that was pretty cool, though, I thought. That's that hit the Twitter universe pretty well.
Yeah. So anybody who still doesn't know who Max von Sydow is, then he was also Dr. Kynes on Dune.
He was, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was. But also more recently, he was Lord Santeca on Star Wars. So where Poe is in the village on
very
Jakku
beginning
at the
movie,
beginning.
isn't it?
Yeah, and then he gets killed by Kylo Ren.
Very short event for him there, wasn't it?
It was indeed, but yeah,
probably 10 minutes, not even that, I think.
I think it was about. Must have had screen time for about
2 minutes.
2 minutes at the most, because I think he was the first person to utter a line on a Star Wars movie since the last ones, which is "This will begin to make put things right."
So yeah, so that was interesting.
Yeah.
Also, if you don't know, the podcast I did with James Hancock is now out. So if you want to look for Wrong Reel episode 454 and you want to listen to me babbling on, then feel to do that.
Yeah, your bit of moonlighting.
Moonlighting, that's it, yeah. And there might be a part 2 as well, but that probably won't be for a while yet. We've been talking about it, but we'll see. This Sunday was Record Store Day. Again, it's Christmas for everyone that loves vinyl. And I got a bit miffed on Twitter. I saw this this item, and if you don't know what Record Store Day is, all the industry artists and with the people that bring out the albums, produce them, whatever, they do either. Sometimes they'll do like re-releases of older albums, or first time out on vinyl, because if they've been on CD, and there'd be different coloured vinyls, picture discs, anniversary editions, and so on and so forth. So I picked up the Blancmange 12-inch single "Living on the Ceiling" remix, which is pretty good. Pop Music by M is a 10-inch in pink vinyl, Then Japan, Life in Tokyo on red vinyl, and Jeff Wayne's 12-inch EP, Piano Strings and Other Things, which is instrumental pianos from War of the Worlds. And last but not least, a Queen 7-inch in purple and yellow, Bohemian Rhapsody.
With I'm in love with my car on the other side.
So, yeah, exactly, yeah. And then I was scouring Twitter and I saw that in Canada, they were releasing on vinyl for the first time the Star Trek 2009 motion picture soundtrack from Michael Giacchino. But it wasn't available over here, so I'm a bit miffed about that. Because I did look in the soundtrack collection section. If it was there, I would have probably gone for it. But eBay might have to be my friend again. I'll have to have a look.
I'm sure it will be.
Let's see if I can. Well, it's my birthday in June, so I could put the feelers out for that, and I might get lucky. We'll sort of see. I'll have to talk to the missus. So, but other than that, it's been a bit of a quiet week. Just getting on with work, doing a few late hours because I'm off. Got 2 days next week.
Oh, what days?
Just working. 2 days work, and then we're off. And originally we were going to go away for a few days, but that's been cancelled. So I said, well, I'll have the 2 days off because I've got some chores around the house to do. There's some hell of a bit of gardening to do, which I'm definitely not looking forward to. But it's got to be done with a few tip runs as well. And we'll just sort of chill out for what? I think we get 7 days off doing that.
Nice.
So that'd be cool. And maybe get a little bit of gaming in.
Well, I'm sure that we'll be able to get a bit of gaming in together, seeing as I'm off all week as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And
one thing, though, is next weekend, because we haven't talked about this, I'll be going to Insomnia.
Oh, of course you are, yeah, that's
on
right.
Sunday. So we'll have to arrange another time to record.
That's fine. Means I get to chill out a bit more.
Indeed.
So is that all? That's going to be a long day then, is it?
Yeah, down to Birmingham and back in the day.
Okay, it's good. Excuse me. Right. Okay. So should we swiftly move on then to gaming this week?
Before we do, just wanted to say one thing. We also hit 20,000 downloads this week.
That's a landmark, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. So that's another good milestone down. So very pleased about that.
Let's get the next 20k down.
Indeed. All depends upon how quickly we knock them out of the park. That's the thing.
So, Mrs.
Okay.
Okay, then. Should we crack on?
Yeah.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, so with the news, Hayden, do you want to go do your bit first?
Okay, so EA has, well, as we know, we've had the Star Wars Celebration very recently, and there is more news on the new Jedi The Fallen Order. Evidently, it's going to be a single-player only game, and it's not going to have microtransactions, and it's going to be based in the aftermath of The Fallen Order and Order 66. So it's basically in between The Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
I think, to be honest, that was probably the most logical place for it to go. If it's talking about a fallen order, because that was the fall of the order.
Have you seen the little video intro for it?
I have. It does look good as well. Let's hope that the gameplay plays similar. I get the feeling that this is going to be like another The Force Unleashed sort of game.
I hope so, because I did enjoy that. They're probably about any decent games, probably including maybe one at the very beginning.
I don't know. Dark Forces and the Jedi Knight games were good.
Going back to Knights of the Old Republic and stuff like that, which I enjoyed, you know. Yeah,
that was good as well. I think there's been a few. I think it's just been the more recent games that have been a bit. But having said that, though, I quite enjoyed the story in Battlefront 2. It was just a bit short.
Yeah, I just think they've fallen flat a bit, EA, with this.
I think it should be taken off EA.
Well, this is going to be done by Respawn, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe that will improved matters, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for that.
Maybe.
And that was what I was going to talk about. But it doesn't matter. Do you want to do the next bit of news as well?
Sorry, Steve.
No, it's fine.
Right, so the other bit of news, and this, I don't know the whole story to this. I've already caught snippets of it. But evidently, with the Division 2, there has been some Easter egg or leak that has identified that the next Assassin's Creed game is likely to be Vikings.
Yeah. I heard some news about that. Wasn't there also, I don't know where it was, I'd have to probably look and see if I could find it. But there was some other news about it, maybe being something else as well, but Vikings was definitely rumoured this week in some frame or another.
Yeah, I didn't hear any other ones, but I'd definitely heard Vikings.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about Vikings, to be honest, because that, to me, feels like it's going to go back towards the Assassin's Creed 3, climbing up and about through trees sort of thing. I just don't think it'll work in that environment.
Do you think we've had that sort of game before, though?
Well, there's been For Honor and stuff like that is sort of like Viking overtones, isn't it?
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So, personally, I hope it's not Vikings. I would quite like to see maybe a Second World War or First World War sort of Assassin's Creed. I think that would work quite well. With maybe having the Templars as like the Nazis.
Yeah, I mean, I've always fancied the idea of having a Shogun style story, proper Japanese samurai style.
That would work. That would work as well.
But I think that's been on the list of a lot of people. I think, but it's just not in the air yet for that.
No, it's. I think it's an interesting sort of thing, though, don't you? In terms of what periods of history that they're actually picking, because there doesn't seem to be any consistency.
No.
But I think something a little bit more modern would be quite interesting to see.
Yeah,
and I think if you put it in terms of a war, like, the First or Second World War, I think that would play well.
Yes. I mean, I think this the idea of these Vikings. There's a bit more news floating around about that than there is. So I think, to be honest, the idea of a game in 2020 looking like that will probably be about right. It is a lot of news if you Google it. So it's more likely to be a cert, I think.
I think they'll probably go down the Viking sort of route because they'll have the ship combat again.
Yes, it's going to sound. It will be all very familiar, though, won't it? That's the problem.
It will. Which it would have been probably better if they'd have done like maybe First World War with, like air combat instead of ships, just to make it a bit different.
Yeah, true. I think when you think now of all the years we've had Assassin's Creed and where we've been floating around in the stories. Sometimes you need this to be literally redefined and redone to give it a breath of fresh air. Even though I must admit the last two games have been pretty good.
Yeah, well, the last couple of games have been excellent. But I think the other thing that they need to do as well is improve on the future timeline where you come out of the Animus, or just get rid of it because that bit's not really needed in it as a game. It's more of a distraction. I think if, like Origins had been literally the Origins and it wasn't all of the Animus stuff peppered in between, I don't think it would have been any the worse.
No.
If you're going to have the modern stuff, then that needs to do something, because I don't think it does anything at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it could. That's why it went stale for a little bit beforehand. So I'm hoping we'll see. I mean, it's a long way off, but I could just see this being a skin version of the last game, but just being set in Vikings times.
Possibly. I don't think there's anything the matter with that, to be honest, as long as it's a good story, and they always make good stories.
Mm.
Even though Assassin's Creed 3 was, like, not the best one, it still had a good story.
Oh, yeah.
Just didn't have a likeable main character.
I think the only other bit of news I saw, I don't know too much about it. It was just more of a tweet, but I think there's talk now. There's going to be a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes, the actress who plays Aloy.
Did she spill the beans? I think.
Yeah, and it's one of these ones that's touted as going to be the flagship, launch game for the PS5. I think, to be honest, every time there's a new game announcement now that's going to be Sony orientated, it's going to be touted as that.
Yeah. But that's just the way it's going to go, isn't it? I think. I mean, I did see a trailer on IGN this morning for a new Star Wars. I think it's a game but in episodes that's on Oculus.
Mm.
Which looks pretty good, but that's just for the PC.
Yeah.
So I think the Star Wars, how'd you put it? Star Wars fever's definitely hit this weekend.
Well, with Star Wars Celebration, but we'll talk a bit more about that later on, won't we? Because there's lots of news there. Yeah.
And that's why I sat and watched Star Wars The Original Cut this morning. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I'll talk about that in a little bit later, but yeah, guys, I dug out the original.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, okay. So let's move on. I'll do new releases, and then you can do the video game charts. Yeah.
Yep.
So 16th of the 4th, we have Anno 1800 on digital only PC from Ubisoft. We've got Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD remastered on the Switch. We have My Time at Porter, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Switch from Team 17. World War Z, PlayStation 4, Xbox and PC. That's from Focus Home Interactive. On the 17th, we've got Snooker 19, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And all these are on the 18th. Cuphead on the Switch, which will probably break a few Switches, I'm sure. Katana Zero on the Switch. We have Our World Is Ended, PS4 and the Switch from P-Cube. Jake Hunter Detective Story, Ghost of the Dusk on the 3DS. And we have Trooper Brook, PS4 and Switch. And last but not least, we've got Ghost Giants PSVR. So a wide selection.
Indeed. Gaming charts, we have at number 5. Sicario Shadows Die Twice at number 5, down from 3. At number 4, up from 5, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. At number 3, down from number 1 last week, is Yoshi's Crafted World. At number 4, at number 2, up from number 4, we have FIFA 19. And at number 1, we have Tom Clancy's The Division 2, which was number 2 last week. So,
all
good stuff. All good.
Okay. No games for goals to talk about at the moment because they're all out.
They are indeed.
And I think I've downloaded a couple, but
in a matter of fact, don't forget, download your games today or tomorrow, because after that they do the midweek swap on Games for Gold. That's
right, which is, I think that's the one I'm after, which is halfway through the week. I can't remember what it was now, but if you can remind me, I'm trying to think what I'm sure there was something that was supposed to be pretty good for the 16th.
To be honest, I absolutely can't remember.
Well, it can't be that memorable.
No, I think one of them was. Oh, it was. What was it? I know what it was. It was. Well, we got Star Wars Battlefront 2 now until the 15th, and the Technomancer. But it's Outcast, Second Contact, and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare.
That's what it is.
Warfighter 2.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
But as I said, I've got it already, so doesn't make much difference to us.
No, I wondered if I did have it already, but I don't think I did. I'm actually surprised they didn't, because obviously the Masters on at the moment, finishing that at the moment, I think today, for the golf, that we didn't have a golf game like one of the old Tiger Woods being brought back out or something.
Yeah. Oh, a Rory one.
Yeah, but I think I'd prefer the Xbox 360 Masters.
Yeah.
I think that was one of my favourites. But if you went to try and buy that in game now, it'd probably be hiked to 20 quid because the Masters is on at the moment, so.
Yeah, most probably.
They're like. Okay, so should we move into gaming this week?
Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't done a lot, to be honest. I have been playing Destiny 2.
Really?
And I'm going to slap you in a minute. Of course I have. What else have I been playing? So, this week was pretty interesting because when Xur arrives, he's going to give you exotics from Forsaken now as well. And I got Lord of Wolves this week, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which was the shotgun. And pretty cool gun. I did try it in the Crucible earlier today. I'm really annoyed because I need a Warlock armband for my character, because I'm running at 699, so I need the 700 drop just to put me into that realm,
and it'll just keep you going and going and going for ages.
Yeah, but I've been really good because I've started doing the there's a quest. I'm sorry for no looking into this at the moment, but if you know what I'm on about, you probably will do. At the start of the latest season, there was a quest to pick up from Gambit, and he told you whether to go down the Titan route or his route.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to go down the Gambit route. So the first bit, you had to go onto Titan, do a bit of questing down there, pick up bits and bobs. Then the next bit after that was to get 25 kills in Crucible. I did that in 3 games, so that wasn't too bad. But ironically, I had 24 out of 25 after 2 games. And that next 1 kill I needed it was like I couldn't kill anybody. It was ridiculous. I thought, what the heck's going on? But I did get the kill in the end. And then I've moved on to the next part of the quest for that, which I've started. And yeah, just loving it. Obviously, it's Arc Week this week, which started on Tuesday. So the Thunderlord quest was available again for people that didn't get it first time round, Hayden.
Yeah.
And I could pick it up a second time. I'm surprised it would have known that I've had the quest, so I wouldn't need to get it again. But, okay, I picked it up, and I've got 2 now.
And this one will be higher level, won't it?
No, well, my other one was 700 anyway, so...
All right, okay, so you'd already...
Got it there. Yeah. So that's all right, it doesn't matter. I mean, I can always melt it down. And yeah, just enjoying it. There is, from next Tuesday for the month, there's going to be a new event. And this is going to be called Revelry. So we got a spring event lasting for the month, very similar to the way they did with New Dawning and the Halloween event last year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a new load. There's going to be an exotic to pick up, some new gear to get, load of different events within that as well. There'll be a couple of new speedos to ride around in, and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'll have more of an excuse to keep playing Destiny.
Don't think you need any more of an excuse, Steve.
Yeah, I know.
You really need to play a different game.
Well, hopefully we can, because I've just picked up No Way Out.
Hooray!
Downloaded it yesterday.
Brilliant.
And have you purchased it already yet?
I have indeed.
Good. Because this, you can't play this on your own, can you?
No, you can't.
So we'll have to slot some time and book it in.
Yeah.
To do this.
I'm going to be playing this game a lot, I think. Because I'm going to be playing with Nicky this week as well, because he's picked it up.
All right, okay. Well, let me know when I can be slotted in for it.
Well, we're going to do mornings.
What, for Hayden? Sorry, for Nicky?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because his work schedule, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so what else have you been up to gaming-wise?
Well, I've been playing Destiny 2. I've completed the Thunderlord quest on the PC. Mm-hmm. To be honest, it didn't take long. I would say probably about 45 minutes to do the whole quest.
It was nice to get to Russia, though, wasn't it? Which was from Destiny 1.
It was.
It just brought it back thinking, can we have some of those maps back in this game?
I can't see why they just don't put them in, to be honest.
It'd be a nice little throwback.
It'd make sense putting them in. But anyway, so that was quite nice going through there. But it was a relatively easy quest, especially on the PC, which I did it on. Yeah. And I'm 3/4 of the way through on the Xbox now on that quest as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all going well there. I've been levelling up my character on the Division 2 on Xbox as well.
Yeah.
Opened up, I think, 3 or 4 different areas now. Mm-hmm. I'm something like level 8 or level 9 as a character. I'm not absolutely bombing it in terms of, time. I'm going in, doing a couple of bits, coming out, and, just sort of like making it last a little bit. Because I don't know what it is, but at the moment, I do know what it is. It's because I've been having earlier nights, because I've just been cream crackered, and working a bit longer. I've just not had the time to really devote to doing a lot of gaming. So still really liking the Division. It does suffer from my complaint about the original Division, but I'm not going to go there any more than that. But having said that, though, I still enjoy the game.
Yeah.
I think it's a crying shame that you've not got that game, to be honest, because I think we could have had a lot of fun with it together.
I'm just not feeling it at the moment, that game.
Well, maybe you should try a demo of it or something.
Yeah.
Because I think that might change your mind. Because it is good, it's great fun, and I think it'll be more fun doing it not on your own.
Right.
So, because I've been playing it completely solo, to be honest.
Yeah.
Great game. Looks beautiful. I love the soundtrack in it as well. It's sort of like very 80s-ish in parts. Mm-hmm. I think you'd probably appreciate the soundtrack as well, to be honest.
Oh, I'd have to see if I can watch some footage and have a little listen.
Yeah, well, just watch my Twitch stream.
Oh, yeah, here you go, yeah. We'll promote that.
We'll promote that.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so, been playing that. I've also, thinking about that, I've set up a clan because people were asking, so in order to set up the clan, I had to get to a specific point in the game.
Really?
So, yeah, really. So now we have a clan. So if you want to join the clan, it's the Pop Culture Gamer clan. So just go and find Grace Larson and then join the clan that way. I have tweeted out about the fact that we've got a clan as well, and so anyone can join that. Next game I've been playing is a game called Midnight Deluxe. This is on Xbox and on PlayStation. Basically, it's sort of like a cross between Angry Birds and what other game could I liken it to? A bit like a cross between Angry Birds and Hue. As in, it's got the graphical sort of style of Hue, as in black and white.
Yeah.
Or Limbo, something like that. It's not a platformer. Although it is, it's a very weird sort of game. It's sort of like a puzzle platformer where you have to get to the exit on each level. And the way that you travel is by an Angry Bird sort of catapult system.
Yeah.
So, it's not like Mario jumping from thing to thing. You've got to fire yourself in that in a direction you want to go.
Yeah.
Some of the levels are quite fiendishly devised so that you've only got a few seconds to get to the exit, otherwise it gets permanently blocked. And then you have to restart the level. But it's only, I think it was like $3.99, something like that. It's one of these, cheap indie games that you can pick up. But it's quite good fun. The game's got a little bit of charm. It looks quite attractive as a game as well. It's enjoyable to figure out how to actually complete the level and not overly stressful either, but sometimes games like that can get you throwing your controller over the other side of the room sometimes. This isn't sort of like that. You kind of know what you have to do, but sometimes just getting there can be a bit fiddly. But I've quite enjoyed it, so I completed that game.
Is that another game of score, Mark? Because what is your score now? You must be getting up a bit.
I've got past 250,000.
Wow, nice one.
Yeah, so it's getting up there. I'm trying to think how much I've actually earned. I've probably earned about 10,000-15,000 so far this year. Yeah, something like that. Maybe not that much. Maybe about 8. About 8 to 10, somewhere around there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I did think, shall I give myself the sight of trying to get 60k? But I thought, no. To be honest, I did nearly 60k last year, and while it was, it wasn't that strenuous to do, it was quite expensive to do because you had to keep buying different games. Because obviously, once you've got the 1k or whatever gamer score, that's kind of it for that game. But I'm actually just going back through a lot of my old back catalogue now and trying to find stuff that maybe I skipped through and, didn't spend too much time, or spend more time on things like the Division 2 when I've, got the time to actually do it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's Midnight Deluxe. It's an enjoyable game. Well worth a look if you're into the Angry Birds sort of style game. The next one is Kill the Bad Guy, which is the last game that I've played this week. So this is another indie title. Yeah. And this one, you have to set traps to kill a bad guy. Or, when I say bad guy, it's just like this bloke walking through. So it gives you an isometric view of the environment, which is all in like monochrome, black and white sort of thing. And there are different things on the map which you can use.
Right.
So, for example, there might be a piano, a rope, a crane, a car. So what you can do is use the rope on the piano, use a piano with a rope on the crane, and then when the guy walks underneath, you can cut the wire and it flattens him, like Laurel and Hardy sort of style.
Okay.
And different. Yeah, so it is quite an amusing sort of game. There's other ones where you can tie a tree back and put something on it so that it you can then cut the rope, it fires it, and then it'll smash into the guy who you're trying to kill. Whenever you hit somebody or hit the person, their tooth flies out, and the idea is you have to try and catch that as a bonus objective. And you can see it highlighted flying through, and if you click on it, you'll get it. If you don't, that's it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that there's a hidden sort of like passport somewhere on the level, which you've got to find as well.
Cool.
And there's loads and loads of levels for you to complete.
How quick did you complete the game? Was it?
I haven't completed it.
So you haven't? Okay.
No. I've played it probably about an hour so far. There is lots of things to do in it, different ways to kill people. You know, you can hijack a car and run them over, that sort of thing. There's loads of different ways. You've just got to look to see what's on there and then use it. So if you don't get it on this first walk through, then you can do a second or a third pass, depending upon how long it takes you to set up the trap. Yeah. But if they see you setting up the trap, as in, you know, you plonk, a man trap immediately in front of him, then he'll see it being put there, and he'll run in the opposite direction and escape.
Okay.
So you have to be subtle, like. But, you know, it's very much you're sort of like in a god mode when you're doing it. It's not like you've got a little character you have to move. You know, you click on what you want, you tell it where you want it to go and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but it's quite often on offer. It's an interesting little game. I just think it'll take ages to complete.
Yeah,
because there's so many levels.
There is quite a few games on offer on the Xbox minute, isn't there? Because there's a sale.
Well, there's also a sale on PlayStation as well.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, 60% off a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think the cheapest game I saw on the Xbox was £4 for one of the Lego Marvel games.
Really?
Sure of it, yeah.
You sure that wasn't the season pass or something?
No, it was a game.
Because when I was looking, it was the Marvel Superheroes 2 was something like £24. Sure it was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, if there was more than one Lego game there, there's a big selection of them.
Yeah, well, there is absolutely loads of Lego games, isn't there?
You know, it's about the Masters. You know, I was thinking about saying it'd be nice to get the Xbox 360 game onto the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Well, Tiger Woods just won the Masters.
Has he?
So hopefully that might mean we might get another Tiger Woods game.
Do you think that they've actually...
Why not? When was the last... We haven't had a decent golf game for donkeys, have we?
No, we haven't.
Not since... It's not been since the 360.
True.
So, to do a new Masters with I mean, Tiger Woods is sort of back in it now, isn't he? He's the little bit of bad time he had in his personal life.
Yeah.
Which does say mud sticks, I think is the term of phrase. And, you know, maybe someone might approach him for that and say, you know, we'll do another golf game. But, you know, that'd be interesting. But, yeah, good luck to him on that one. Okay.
I've just had a look. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 is $44.95 on the store at the moment.
So what was the cheap one, I wonder, that I saw?
I don't know, because I've got most of them. When I click on them, I can't actually see how much they cost.
Ah, I see. I'll have to... Now, can you look in the sale? Can you look on the Xbox app and the sale? Can you do that?
I'm looking at the Xbox app, yeah. But Lego Jurassic World's £20.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Even though this is not good listening, let me just type in Lego and see what comes up. If the internet works well on the phone at the same time.
See, it's like Lego DC Supervillains, that's $29.99. They're all really quite expensive, but I did get Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 on Steam for something like about £5.
Was it really? I haven't played a Lego game in ages.
No, neither have I. I bought that game and I've never played it.
Anyway, I'll look later because that would be terrible radio, as they call it.
It would be.
Shall we move into movies, TV and streaming?
Yep.
In quest of a better life.
Okay, so we're going to start with the news as usual. And there's probably only one bit of news we're going to talk about, really, I think. And that's the release of the trailer for the latest Star Wars Episode 9, called Rise of the Skywalker.
Indeed. The big news of the week.
So I'm just going to click on that tab. Have you got it ready to roll?
I'm rolling, yep.
What should we do it after 3?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oh, maybe I'm about to touch them. Anyway, we're going to play this. You won't be able to hear it, guys, but we will be watching it and listening to it. And anything we can talk about as we play with it.
So it opens up with Rey on a planet.
Tatooine, maybe?
Or Jakku. Could be either. Could be another planet. We don't know. And she's got Anakin Skywalker, Skywalker's lightsaber, which is obviously put back together.
Yeah.
Because you can recognise that by the hilt or whatever. And she's got the gun that Han gave her. I don't know if you noticed that there.
Yeah, I did. Every generation has a legend.
Yes, indeed.
Which generation?
Well, it won't be the next generation make it so.
Absolutely.
And then we see, coming up towards her, we believe, is Kylo Ren's TIE fighter.
She does one hell of a jump here, doesn't she?
Yeah, a bit of parkour. And now flying down through the clouds on a very sort of like steam-ridden planet. And then a red planet with Kylo Ren running through, his helmet being put back together, and the best bit, Lando Calrissian.
Just looks at home there, doesn't he?
Yeah. Back to the Tatooine sort of planet. The medal that was given to probably Han. Bit of Leia and whatever. Leia
and the
Rey
gang are together
time.
there for a change, aren't they?
Yeah. And then the end, which has the Death Star in the sea, and then Ian McDermott's sort of cackle.
I think the thing with this was, when I watched this on... Because I messaged you about it.
Yeah.
And when I watched it on Star Wars Celebration, it didn't twig, because when they played it the first time, after we had all the cast out on stage, they were doing some interviews with them.
Yeah.
They all walked off, played the trailer. And then Ian McDermott walked on stage, and in his Palpatine voice saying, "Run it again," sort of thing. And that's what then made you realise that his voice was at the end of it.
Oh, I knew it was him as soon as I heard that laugh.
But I say, no one's completely dead, are they, in Star Wars?
No, and that's what he said as well.
Yeah. So if he is going to be in it, I think for me that is going to please us older boys of Star Wars.
I think, to be honest, I think that this has reaffirmed a bit of faith, because I said in J.J. Abrams we trust.
Always.
And I think that he's savvy enough to understand, unlike the idiot who did the last movie, that actually the fans are actually people our age more than the kids.
Mm.
George Lucas might turn around and say Star Wars is a story for 9-year-old boys. No, it's not. It's for 49-year-old boys, really.
Well, the thing is, it was for 9-year-old boys in 1977, or well,
yeah, they're now 49.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I'm saying. So, I've really, we're the people who take the kids to go and see the movies, and we could vote with our feet quite easily. I think that JJ, he's very conscious of that. You think about The Force Awakens, that was something to appeal to the fans, and I think
it was more. It was loads of paying tribute to characters and storylines. Yeah,
and I think that this film is going to be more of that. Not that repeated pattern. I know that people have likened The Force Awakens to A New Hope and, done all sorts of comparisons.
Mm.
Personally, I think it stands on itself, on its own, separate from the original, A New Hope. I think it stands up quite well, but I think that the whole point in terms of the Star Wars franchise is about, you think about it, Anakin Skywalker was a Jedi, and then he turned evil, and then Luke became a Jedi, and he almost became evil, but he pulled himself back from the brink. And I think that all of that there, it's, the Star Wars story is about repeating patterns, and I think that that's why it works as The Force Awakens.
Well, with the title saying that there's, this is going to be the end of a story, so we're going to get the conclusion to this trilogy. The end of the
Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
So, in terms of this, The Rise of the Skywalker, the question is, it raises questions, doesn't it? Which is exactly what it's intended on doing. So,
but I think you and I know that Rey is Rey Skywalker.
Yeah, that to me, in order to appease the vastest majority of fans in terms of what we want, that's what we want. Basically, we want. Most people, I think, who are big fans of this franchise want Rey to be Luke's daughter.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't work, right, is, funnily enough, in that pile of rubbish called Episode 8. Because why didn't Luke realise it was his daughter?
Yeah.
And that, you can explain it away, whatever, but it doesn't take away that Force bit. Yeah, you think but you go back, right? Go back to The Force Awakens. Yeah, do you remember that trailer? The Force is strong in my family.
Yeah,
my father has it. My sister has it.
Yeah,
you have that power too.
Yeah.
And it was always speculated about who that was, and people later on said, "Oh, it must have been to Ben." I don't think it ever was. I think it was to Rey. Personally, so I'm a big supporter of the Rey is Luke's daughter. I think that they can explain some of it. The way it could be explained is that Rey was brought up for a number of years with Luke, but then Ben kidnapped Rey, said that she died or something, and done some sort of force block on her mentally, which might explain why somehow she can bring out these powers. And I think that you can also answer, I think the simple answer about what Ben said about your daughter, you're the daughter of Junkers at The Last Jedi, was just to really get under her skin and make her feel inadequate.
Yeah.
That's my personal thing. So I'm like you, I'm a big supporter of Rey is Luke's daughter. I don't think she's Han and Leia's daughter at all. The only thing that I can think of is about what the Rise of the Skywalker can mean if she's not Luke's daughter, is the replacement for the Jedi are going to be called Skywalkers.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can think of it.
Do you think, could we have a role reverse with Rey being confronted the same way that Anakin was, and given that choice?
What with Palpatine?
I'm talking complete bonkers here, but speculation.
I think, because if you go to the comics or the graphic novels, whatever you want to call them, there is what Palpatine did was Palpatine didn't die in the Death Star.
No,
his body died. But that wasn't his first body, and what he was doing was cloning his body and then inhabiting the clone of himself. So his Force Ghost inhabited this whatever clone, because the clone wasn't conscious. He inhabited it and became conscious. If they decided to keep that storyline on, it might explain. There might be a cloning facility on the ruins of the Death Star, which presumably that must be in the sea on Endor, or it could be over Yavin.
Well, to be honest, I think it has to be Endor, surely.
No, it could be either, because it could be, one of the moons of Yavin, because of the first Star Wars. But that doesn't then explain how the Emperor got out of the Death Star. But they can easily explain that away. Because we know that people have survived those falls. Anakin deliberately jumped out of a sky car on, the second Star Wars, episode 2. And Luke has survived that. Darth Maul has survived that.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that there's a precedence there for him not to, for him to have survived it. I think that it's quite likely, given the fact of how powerful he was supposed to have been. And for, it could quite well be that maybe he was, the ruler of the First Order all along.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be, we're going to see another trailer or two before Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the other thing as well is, maybe he's a Force ghost, or maybe he's done in flashback, or maybe it's like a recording of him in a Sith hologram, or it could be like in Battlefront 2, where there's the robots with the recorded message of him.
Well, I don't think it'd be linked to that, to be honest. I don't think it'd go that too deep for that. It's going to be something plain and simple somehow. The explanatory way it's going to work is going to be very simple. I mean, apparently Harrison Ford's in it. Is that a flashback, maybe?
I think it'd have to be.
But is that to appease the fans more than to have him in there in some capacity?
I think it's to just bring it to a close, because I don't think that we're ever going to revisit the Skywalkers in this. Evidently, Bob Iger has said that there is going to be a pause in Star Wars after Episode 9. And then, but there is going to be more movies.
Mark Hamill's in it, isn't it? Oh,
Mark Hamill's in it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't know really what happened to him, did we, come the end of the last one?
Well, everybody speculates he became a Force ghost. That's what, if you look online.
I mean, if you're going to go down the route of the way it went for past characters, shall we say?
Well, like Yoda, for example.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan as well.
Yeah.
So they'll be sitting on that log together, all floating around.
Yeah, exactly. And you never know, we might see Hayden Christensen on there as well as Anakin.
Maybe.
Because there have been makeup tests with him, or, like, whatever. I've seen pictures of him dressed up as an older Anakin Skywalker.
But you won't look on the Instant Movie Database to see the cast list yet, because that will be kept quiet if it's the case.
Well, you won't. That Internet Movie Database won't be done by anybody but members of the public anyway. So until we actually know, just all be speculation.
Maybe, yeah. But it's interesting. It's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they're going to do a good job of it this time. But JJ's one of my favourite directors now. Yeah,
I'd like to him then, once this one's over, then concentrate on maybe getting a Star Trek movie out as well. That's the next thing I want to see.
I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see a Pike series.
Oh, well, we're not going to talk about that yet. We don't talk about that until I've finished. Don't even go there.
Get on with it, or else next week I'm going to spill the beans on the whole lot.
No, you won't, because I'll just switch off. Anyway.
I'll text you and send you pictures.
No. Don't. Go away. Boo. Shoo. Right, so we do the rest of the show on my own. So here we go then without Hayden.
I don't know how you're going to do that, seeing as I produce it.
Oh, don't worry, I can find a way. Hey, okay, so cinema releases. April the 18th, we've got Greta. On the 19th, we have Dragged Across Concrete. I don't know what that's going to feel like. Red Joan, Laura 1, Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich, and Head Full of Honey. So I've heard of The Puppet Master as being a horror movie. That's as much as I know about that lot.
Mm.
Anyhow, what have we got Blu-ray DVD releases this week?
I think this week's a bit of a poor week, to be honest with you, because I'm struggling to see anything that I'd actually quite like to see in there. There is Mary Poppins Returns, but to be honest, I've never been a fan of Mary Poppins 1 or 2. There is The Last Temptation of Christ, the Criterion Collection. Tin Star, Seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, I've watched season 1, I haven't watched season 2 yet.
I haven't watched either, to be honest, but I understand it's quite good. But that's
it.
That's about it, really. And I think that they're the real highlights, but absolutely nothing there that I actually fancy watching, because there is quite a few different ones, but it just seems to be a really poor week.
Yeah. All right. Cinema charts then, Aidan?
Okay, so cinema charts, we have Peppa Pig, Festival of Fun at 5, we have Captain Marvel at 4, Pet Sematary at 3, Dumbo at 2, and at number 1 is Shazam.
Yeah, I don't know how to take that movie. I mean,
I've heard it's really good.
It's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek style, isn't it?
Yeah. And also the guy who was on that, he was on, I've forgotten the name of the show. Chuck. Was it Chuck?
Oh, okay.
Where he played a secret agent who worked from like a Walmart or something or other like that, or a Better Buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was 5 seasons of that. It was quite good.
Oh, okay. Okay, Blu-ray DVD charts then. Down from 2 to 5, we've got Creed 2. In at 4, we've got Annihilation. Staying at 3 is Bohemian Rhapsody. From 1 down to 2 is Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. And in at 1, we have Ralph Breaks the Internet. So, okay, not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ralph Breaks the Internet yet. I quite fancy saying that. I like the Wreck-It Ralph movie, or the original one.
I don't know. It's,
No? Not your sort of...
No, I don't think so. I mean...
It's good for us gamers.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just a bit really for the children, isn't it? Some of it.
Yeah, but I think, as with most of these sort of movies, there's always those references that we get as adults that the kids don't get.
I think I prefer it in a different type of movie where it's not so childish. Me just being an older codger, maybe, I don't know, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, so should we go to what we've been watching, shall we?
Okay.
Right, anyway, so this week, as I say, it's been a bit of a sporadic week with being on call, so I don't really concentrate too much on TV. I did watch earlier in the week, I decided to watch the Alien Director's Cut.
Right. Which
I thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, it's Alien, it's 40 years old coming up to now. Just watching the Director's Cut on Sky, it's great. It doesn't seem to age at all for me, that film. And it's just fantastic.
It is a timeless classic.
You know, the scenery is brilliant, and just the atmosphere it gives off with the characters trying to find and hunt down the alien on board. It's just awesome. I love it, and I need at some point to go back to the Alien game.
I was about to say, have you ever played the Alien game?
Yes, I have. I have played it. I never completed it. I have played a fair bit of it.
Did you get the DLC as well that had you put on a Nostromo?
Yes, I have, yes. And I have started that. It just brings chills to me walking down those corridors.
Yeah, because you can't actually kill the alien in it.
No, and you see the little drinking pen fountain things that bob up and down.
Yeah.
That are on their table. But, yeah, it's pretty good. So today was is a lazy day at home, just waiting for phone calls to work with them. The missus went out and did a bit of shopping and stuff. So this morning I watched and listened to Star Wars. It was a musical journey.
Mm-hmm.
And Ian McDiarmid introduces each piece, and it's the soundtracks doing a story of the first 6 movies. So from episode 1 to episode
6.
Episode 6. And with the music going on there, it's in 5.1 on the DVD. And what it has is you've got parts of the film playing at the same time from all 6 movies. And it's 70 minutes long, and it's well worth a listen. It came free with the soundtrack CD to the 3rd movie.
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah, and I forget I had it. I put it out. So I just put it on, listened to a bit of music. Oh, I'll actually sit and watch this. So I had it on, and it sounds great. You know, you've got all different parts of the soundtracks from Leia to Yoda's themes to some of the other earlier ones as well. But it's really good. So that prompted me then to go and actually watch the original cut of Star Wars, and this is in 4:3, 2:35 to 1. If you can put that out in your head.
Mm.
And on my main TV in the lounge, it just means there's a big black box all the way around it.
Yeah. And the black box on the top and the bottom as well.
Yeah, it is. It's like you've thrown it in the middle of the TV, but it's black all the way around.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is interesting to watch it now, even though I've watched the remakes and redos constantly. But it's nice to see that grainy feel to this version. It's only on DVD. It never came out anywhere else.
Yeah, it was a special edition and original cut double disc, wasn't it? Because I've got that pack, and I've also got the silver one as well.
Yeah. So this came out. I don't know. I think the silver one came out about over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time they came to DVD. And then the original cut came on the special editions, which is when they re-release them in cinema with the extra content and the new CGI stuff they threw in there. I.e. Grigo shoots first, as they say, or whatever.
They should have left that scene alone.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? And there's that scene, isn't there, with Jabba the Hutt?
Yeah.
Where Han Solo walks over his tail.
Yeah, because originally, I don't know whether or not you've ever seen the cuts of it, but it's had a great big fat Scotsman in the place, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And there's another scene. If you listen to it, you can listen to the scene in the bar, and you've got these English accents. It's really weird watching it like that without the voiceover. But
there's also the original beginning with Luke meeting Biggs Darklighter, who he later meets on Yavin.
Yeah, near the end of
the film, and Biggs bites the big one. But there's a bit at Toshi Station, is it?
Yeah, it's when they're getting ready to go after the briefing, isn't it?
No, it's at the beginning. It's on Tatooine, where Biggs says, I'm going to go and join the rebellion.
Yes, I have seen it. I don't know where I did see it, whether it's on one of those discs. I can't remember now.
It is on the discs, but it's on the internet and all over the place as well. It's like one of the most famous cut scenes I think that's ever gone.
But yeah, no, it's nice to go back and watch the original cut. I think a lot of purists would like to see that on Blu-ray.
I would,
and give it a full not full screen, but give it a good full widescreen on there as well.
Give it the full widescreen, ultra 4K.
Well, Disney have. It's been reported that Disney are doing a 4K box set at the moment.
Yeah.
So
just in time for Christmas.
That will cost the earth, though, won't it?
I bet it'll be £100, and I can tell you he'll be the first in line for that.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, and then you'll be second. Even though you constantly complain about Star Wars most of the time.
Yeah, I do. But yes, actually, just off tangent to this, there was a new podcast I've been listening to.
Mm-hmm.
And this is off the back of doing the Wrong Reel podcast, because we were talking about one of the composers in my sort of top 5 for this. It's not like a definitive top 5 because it can always change. So the middle one was Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah.
And one of the main ones I spoke about when we talked about was Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you look in your podcast app of choice and look for Inglorious Trexperts,
yeah,
there is a great piece where they're talking to the guys that helped put together the director's cut DVD. And it's I think you'd enjoy it because, you know, you and me have both got this DVD.
Mm.
And it is possible to get this out in 4K. After listening to their chat, it could be done.
Well, I know who'll buy it. And I know who'll be behind me in the queue.
Don't worry, I'll be there. I'll be in a tent the night before. So, only if you want to check, I mean, I've listened to another one. I did listen to a couple of these. So one of the newest episodes is called Wise Guys Remaking the Motion Picture. And another one I listened to this week was called Home Soil, Star Trek on Home Video. And it just brought back memories of me buying them all out on video cassette when they're chatting about that. It's well worth a listen if you like your Star Trek and you need a new podcast to listen to. I'll recommend that.
Yeah.
And linking that to what else I watched, actually this afternoon, I decided to watch Star Trek Generations. And what it is I don't know about what box sets you have for Star Trek.
I have them all.
But yeah, there is so many iterations of the movies.
Yeah.
So the latest one was probably a 10 disc box set or something or whatever.
Yeah, with all of the movies in, which is the one that I've got.
Right.
With the Enterprise in blue on the front cover.
Yeah. Well, I've got the one before that.
So you got the first 6.
Which is 2 box sets.
Yeah.
And so you got the original cast box set and then you got the Generation box set.
That's not before. That was released at the same time so that if people didn't want to buy it, they could just buy one of them. You know, if they wanted to buy just the original rather than an extra.
This was before that came out. Positive. It's quite a while ago.
I'm quite sure it was the same because it's just sort of like darker colours. I think.
It's got slide boxes with the insignia on the front. That's what it's got.
Yeah.
But what's good about it is though that I've not actually. I don't think I probably dug this one out actually and watched it because I've probably been on Sky and I've got them all on the Sky box as well, just for laziness. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But I stuck this disc in, and couldn't believe the quality of the image. Obviously, it's going to get a bit of an up-res with the technology I've got at the moment, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. Just seeing the when you got Picard on that planet when you're trying to stop Malcolm McDowell take the rocket to hit the sun so he can shift the orbit so he can go into the Nexus.
Yeah,
and it's glorious, really good quality, really. I mean, we all say we all like to see a 4K cut of all these movies, but I think that's probably looks quite close to it already. From the quality I'm looking at on the screen.
I think they're absolutely. It's excellent quality when you're having your player upscale the videos.
And you got your new TV.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not played some of these discs. I've not yet. I probably have never played Insurrection, for example. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think I've even probably played Star Trek 5, but I will dig that one out at some point.
Yeah, Star Trek 5 was a particularly low point, wasn't it?
It was. But yeah, no, there is a great box set to own, and I know there are different variations as it is at the moment. But yeah, I really enjoyed that this afternoon, and I did start to watch Star Trek 2009, but I was making dinner then, so I didn't get to watch it. So I did put it on to have a little look.
Yeah.
So I got in that sort of sci-fi mood today.
Yeah, I've been in that sort of mood recently as well, I have to admit.
But what have you been watching recently then?
Well, okay, first one I've watched is Dark City, which is one of the Blu-rays that I've bought. So I've talked about this film several times, but basically John Murdoch, played by Rufus Sewell, awakens in a hotel room with amnesia and he's wanted for a series of brutal murders. He seeks to unravel the twisted riddle of his identity. As he edges closer to solving a problem, he stumbles upon an underworld that is controlled by a group of ominous beings, collectively known as the Strangers, who are in control of the city, and what they're doing is swapping people's memories every day between different groups in order to find the human soul. So this is quite a few famous people in this. So as it's got Kiefer Sutherland, it's got William Hurt, Richard O'Brien in there as well. So there's a few good people in this, and it's really worth a look. I mean, it's 1998 this came out, but definitely worth watching. The city's very much sort of like Gotham sort of style. Right. But there is this, because the Strangers reconfigure the city every day, there's a bit of Inception sort of thing going on where buildings are raising and lowering and all this, that and the other.
Is it me that this film's got a lot of colours like it's out of the Matrix?
No, it's not a lot of colours. It's
green and blues, isn't it?
No, not so much. But it's quite a subdued colour palette for the most part of it.
Yeah.
And very dark, because the city never has daylight as well. That's the other thing, because the Strangers don't like the daylight.
Okay.
But well worth a look. It's one of my favourite sci-fis ever.
Things I always think of Richard O'Brien sitting there and that swanky stuff from...
No, he doesn't come across like that at all. Yeah. In a matter of fact, he's one of the Strangers in order to, because of Murdoch's journey, in order for them to trap him, Richard O'Brien gets the memories that he was implanted with. Mm-hmm. And that, Richard O'Brien then goes on his own path as well in the film. So it really is very much worth a watch. I would recommend it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Now, I see something there you're going to talk about that my missus has seen the whole series, and
this is a new season.
I know she's already been watching it.
Yeah, there's
because I joke with her because of the. Well, you talk about it first, and I'll tell you what I'm on about. All right,
so the series is called Jane the Virgin.
Can you do that in that Mexican accent?
In a telenovela.
This is, I'm walking in, and so she's like this today, and she's doing this, and they're doing that.
So basically, this is sort of like Mexican-American kind of series.
Is it a Mexican soap opera?
Well, that's what a telenovela is.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like on steroids kind of thing as a telenovela. So it's like, ridiculously outrageous things sort of happen on telenovela. So in terms of this is a telenovela about a woman who was a virgin, who was artificially inseminated by mistake by the sister of the guy whose sperm she was inseminated with. When she went to to see the doctor, who was obviously the sperm donor's sister, who was going to inseminate the eventual father's wife, but she ended up, the doctor ended up doing a examination on one and artificially inseminating the other, and got them the wrong way round. And there's another, there's sort of like crime lord stuff going on with all sorts of weird stuff. It's an utterly ridiculous show, but it's a good laugh. You know, and the voiceover sort of work as well.
Yeah, that just makes me laugh. See, I don't really watch this at all. I come in some evenings, like probably tonight, and the missus will be sitting there, and you've been watching it. And I know a bit about it, but it's one of the things that she's been watching. I just let her get on with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's entertaining. You know, that's it. It's not to be taken seriously at all. If you do, you've got a serious problem if you think this is real.
Yeah.
But I just quite like it as a little bit of light relief, to be honest, because it's just so different to what I normally watch. So I just watch it for a bit of escapism from my escapism. But I quite enjoyed the show so far. This season's not getting me as much, I have to admit. But overall, the seasons are funny and charming. And it's a good ongoing story. But the new story is that Jane's husband, because she married later on, Jane's husband, who was killed by the stepmother of the father of her child who she was artificially inseminated with, who was a crime lord, killed her husband, and she didn't actually kill him. He came back from the dead. So that's the story, and he's got amnesia, which is why he's not returned. So that sort of, if you can imagine, you know, with all of that description, I think you kind of get the feel for what the show's like.
Yeah, I just say I come into this most of the evenings when it's been on, sort of thing, and yeah, it is what it is.
There's about 5 years of it, 5 seasons. So it's done well. I was beginning to think they must have got rid of it, in the culling of shows, but obviously not.
Yeah.
So, well worth a watch if you've not seen it before. And then my last one is another new series, or return series, I should say, back over on Amazon Prime, which is season 2 of The Tick.
Okay.
Have you seen season 1?
No, I weren't sure about this when I saw it. I didn't, I don't know, didn't know how to take it.
The Tick is a comedy.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, it's the only way that you can take it, because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But basically, The Tick, it's a comedy about a superhero, obviously, who's called The Tick, who's got a bright blue costume, and sort of like antlers coming out of his head. He doesn't know who he is. But he's got all these superpowers. He's played by Peter Sawinowicz, who's a British comedian, although it's an American show. And you would know Peter from being the roommate of Shaun on Shaun of the Dead.
Yes, I'm just. I'm on the app on my phone, Prime Video. As you were saying, I'm thinking, I know who that is.
Yeah, but he's been on other things. He's also been on Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
Was he in Run Fat Boy Run?
I'm
not too sure if he was or not.
I can't remember.
No,
he was on John Wick Chapter 2.
Yeah, and Spy, whatever that is.
Yeah. He also did the voice for Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace.
He did, yes, that's correct. Yeah, he did.
And that was beyond the and
Yeah.
No, he was the one who says, at last we will have our revenge on the Jedi.
So what I will do is I'm going to download the first episode to my phone, so I can have a little look at that.
I think you'll enjoy it. It's just a good laugh. It's an alternative take on a superhero sort of thing. And also, so The Tick's joined by a really inept guy called Arthur, who gets embroiled in The Tick doing stuff, and then ends up getting a superhero outfit of his own, and he's like the Moth.
That sounds a bit cheesy.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, it's like grated cheese. Is this? But so and they go off and have an adventure, and the Tick's wanting to train up Arthur by season 2. But see if you recognise the sister on this. Because this is
Let me go back.
Arthur's sister.
Let's have a look. Is that Yara Martinez? Or was it Valerie Curry?
Valerie Curry.
Let me have a look.
If you're looking on IMDb, you should recognise her immediately.
No, she is the character at the beginning of when you're playing Detroit Most Human. And she says, "Oh, welcome back." It's her, isn't it?
No, she is the female character that you have right throughout the whole game on Detroit Most Human. Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you don't kill her off at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
She's one of the 3 story arcs. She did that role.
Was she the one with the little child?
She's the one who looked after the little child. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think where I am with her is that she got away, and it was tipping with rain, and at that point, then I was going back to the other character. I think, but she was still alive.
She also played Talia in Blair Witch in 2016, and she's been on a TV series, The Following, which was a really good show.
Yeah. So yeah, I might have to have a look at that.
Yeah, worth a look. Definitely worth a look. I've really enjoyed the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, it's in 4K as well.
Oh, so it looked good too.
It looks absolutely fantastic. Well worth a watch.
Cool. Anything else?
No, that's it.
John, what's happening to us?
Okay, so we'll start with Mark as usual. And his first question: does owning games on a disc lead you to playing them less because you have them physically? Because you physically have to change it.
I think that's more one for you, Stephen, to be honest. Because you're the one who buys the stuff on digital, so you don't have to put them in.
Well, it's funny because Destiny 2 is on disc, actually.
And my Destiny 2 is actually digital this time.
See?
We swapped over.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the last game I got that's a disc would be Fallout. Anyway.
Oh, you mean Fallout not played?
Yeah, Fallout not played, yeah.
Fallout 76% off.
Yeah. Oh, dear, I don't know.
I do love winding you up about Fallout.
I know. Anyway, do you want to do question 2 before I cut off the mic?
Well, we haven't finished that one, have we?
Well, I do. I'm trying to get away from the question.
What from Fallout?
Yeah.
You want to avoid the fallout from it?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so what's your thought then? Anyway,
it doesn't make any difference to me because
No.
if it's a game I'm enjoying, it'll probably be staying in the machine, and if it's one that I think the only time it ever does is if I'm playing on a downstairs machine and I think I'll just play what's on the hard drive and won't go and get a disc.
yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, the bulk of the stuff's digital anyway, but there are. I think I've got more. I don't know, really. It's probably give and take on the PlayStation, but there's quite a few games that I've got actually on disc there. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I love to embrace hard copies still on anything, any media, because I know it's mine. And no one can take it away.
Yeah, I prefer disc-based games.
But saying that, when I was listening to this other podcast the other day, they were talking about home video and stuff on Trek. There is a way that a company could stop you playing that disc, believe it or not, that you've bought with firmware upgrades and downloads. There's a way that they can actually stop you playing it if they wanted you to.
Yeah.
But that would mean an internet connection probably to do that. But then again, most of our stuff these days is attached to that. But yeah, anyway, that's something else for another day. So do you want to do question 2?
Okay, Steve, so I think that we all know the answer to this one, but have you been addicted to a game? I think we should rephrase that to when are you going to go to Destiny Anonymous?
I'm Steve, and I'm addicted to Destiny 2.
Acknowledging your problem is half of the solution.
This isn't it? Did he put that in there just for a joke because he know what the answers are going to be?
I think we all knew what that answer was going to be from a mile off.
I know. What about you?
I'm not so much addicted, but had a lifelong obsession with Elite.
I was about to say that because that's had a lot of updates of late.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't been playing it. I have to admit, not been playing it at all.
No, but good job.
Yeah, I've broke the cycle.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to Facebook. And Jason Toon's question is, with the announcement of the live-action Sonic movie on the horizon, what other video games would you like to see given the live-action treatments?
So for him, it's Pokemon Red and Blue. Have the potential if Detective Pikachu was an indicator.
Well, you can keep all that as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I've already been told by my son I'm taking him to see the Detective Pikachu.
Yeah. So, what would you like to be given the full action treatment?
Of video game characters. What would be a good one?
Well, we've had some bad ones over the years. I mean,
Mario.
Yeah, exactly. And I still hold up and say I love Resident Evil movies.
I like them.
And there's going to be 2 more. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
They've announced that they're going to be doing 2 more with Mila.
So the final chapter should have been named as not quite the final chapter yet.
Yes, that's what I've heard. But we'll see if it comes to fruition.
What's the next one going to be called? Epilogue.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny if it was actually called Epilogue. And then back cover.
Yeah. For the last 5 minutes of the book, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, anyway, what would you like to see? I mean, I've got one in my head already. Well, there's a few I'd like to see, to be honest.
You do yours first.
Okay, so from a science fiction thought, the Mass Effect trilogy would be pretty cool.
I was thinking exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
With Shepard.
Yes. And where we've got Game of Thrones, we could, that could be Skyrim, couldn't it?
What, Game of Thrones Skyrim? Or Skyrim Game of Thrones?
Yeah. Well, it could be in the same vein, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, I'd want a better game with dragons that flew the right way up and not backwards.
Yeah, I know you've come up with something like that. But actually, there's one other franchise I'd love to see, and we're not talking about Fallout. But they were, I think it was on the cards, but it fell flat. But the BioShock universe would be awesome to have.
Yes.
It just didn't happen, unfortunately, which is a real shame.
Didn't happen yet.
Well, it was going to happen, but it fell flat. So,
well, there's still time.
Well, no, who knows? But yeah, what about you? So I've given you a few thoughts there. Any ideas? What are the other ones?
I think you could do a sci-fi series based on Elite, the Elite franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Going for a sci-fi sort of thing, because I would have also said Mass Effect straight off. I would actually like to see Knights of the Old Republic made into a full TV series or movie. I think that would be really awesome as well. And hopefully that's where they'll go when they do produce, more films or whatever is, go back and look at that sort of era. I think things like Mario and stuff like that I don't think work as TV series, but what you could have is the Horizon Zero Dawn. I think that would be quite interesting as a series. So I something like Horizon Zero Dawn or a God of War movie.
Yeah,
that would work, be quite epic as well. Or Shadow of the Colossus, something like that.
Yeah.
Or how about an actually good Assassin's Creed movie? Having said that, to be honest, I didn't actually mind the Fassbender one, but something that we really enjoyed in that sort of vein. Less of the concentration on the animus and more of the concentration on the story.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. I mean, there's loads there. They never pick the right franchise, though, do they?
You could do Far Cry.
You see, they're always going for kids. They're all going for the... When you think computer games, they're trying to go down the kiddie element route. And to appease the generation of kids, not us adults.
Well, you can't say that, though, with Resident Evil.
No, but Resident Evil's been a big, long-going horror franchise linked, obviously, to the game. But other than that, there's never been a... Excuse me.
Tomb Raider.
Well, they were movies, yeah. They weren't too bad, were they? They've all had their ups and downs. I didn't mind some of the Halo stuff they did. It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Which is more done more via the gaming industry side than it was for movie, but it weren't bad.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot that they could work with.
Yeah.
But, like you said, they normally pick the wrong franchises. Probably end up getting a Crash Bandicoot rather than, something that would actually make sense.
Something that's got a bit of meat on the bone.
Yeah, and that's why something like Mass Effect, the movie, you could make a 3-movie arc on that dead easy. As a matter of fact, what you could actually do is do several seasons of that as a TV show. Another one that would
terrific, wouldn't it? As well, imagine the what they got to work with that's been actually seen physically and played.
Yeah,
it's, with the ships and the cities and the planets.
Yeah,
and the lift.
Yeah, true. I think also The Division would work as a series or a movie. Or, well, to be honest, Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah. Okay.
There's lots of things you could do.
Yeah. Okay. So, what we're going to do is, I'm going to read Michael's question.
But it's my go.
No, but I want you to read Paul's.
Okay. Is that because it's a lot longer?
No, because it's more to do with what it is.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do so much reading, that's what it is.
Nice PC dip.
Go on then.
Anyway, it's my day, I can do what I want. Anyway, so Michael Limber says, what is your most satisfactory... Sorry, I'm start again with this. What are your most satisfying and most disappointing piece of tech that you've brought or have been given? So, what bits of tech that you've liked or disliked, in the case may be?
Okay. Most disappointed was my first tablet, which was an Amazon one. Not an Amazon, Android one. It was an early Android one. It had a resistive screen, and it just didn't work well. And it was Android, and I don't like Android.
Yeah.
So...
Okay.
That was mine. What my best bit of tech is, I would have to say either the iPhone or the iPad, because I use them constantly. And I mean constantly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going to go... My most disappointing bit of tech is basically that I decided to go down the route of choosing the wrong format. And I'm going to say the HD DVD player. Because I ended up investing a lot of movies with that. And it didn't win, did it? And Blu-ray.
Yeah, but I don't think that means that the tech was disappointing.
No, it's more that it lost the race.
Yeah, but you could say that about Betamax as well, because we had a Betamax.
Oh, I had a Video 2000. You want to try one of them?
Yeah. Well, that wasn't good quality, and it also wasn't popular, so you lost out on both.
Well, I didn't buy that; my dad did. But then again, eventually we did get a proper VCR. But at the time, it was bought for a reason. But yeah, it's just
didn't they only record about an hour or something?
No, they could record as long as others. But what it was, they were double-sided tapes.
Right.
So you took the cassette out, flipped it over, and put it back in again.
Right.
And then you play. So then the other half of the tape on the other side. So it's like a music cassette idea.
Yeah.
To give you double the amount of time. But it was all right because I watched back in the early 80s when we had this player. Because the idea was that my dad I think he got given it because his brother, who lives in South Africa, wanted to keep up with some TV in the UK. So what Dad would do is he had a player this end, he would record it and then post them off to him because he lived in Switzerland. And my early not VHS, but my early renting of videotapes would have been in that format. And quite a lot of the video nasties of the time I saw in that format as well as VHS as well.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was an interesting. The 80s was very interesting for video cassettes. I must admit, it was a great time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you give my most, what can I say, satisfying bit of kit? Well, I'm going to say my Denon amp and my Sony deck. To be honest.
Well, you do use that a lot, especially if your tweets are anything to go by.
It is. I am in here constantly. I love listening to music. Especially when the missus goes out on a Saturday morning. She'll go shopping. She'll be gone. She's got a few chores to do or whatever. And I'll be in here. I could probably do a bit of cleaning or whatever, in the house. But I'll turn this amp up and just rack it out and listen. Just love listening to music, so...
And why not?
Yeah, that's of course. It's great. Whether it's going to be a soundtrack or it's going to be something Queen or whatever. Or even of sort of audio book style on an album, which I've got a few of those. But yeah, pretty cool. Okay. Do you want to do this next question by Paul?
Okay, so Paul asks, why do PC owners cry when a company remasters a game after 5 years or more and they are charged a fee for a remaster? It seems to be less of a salty issue with movies. The regular release of new versions, director's cuts, restored versions, anniversary editions, etc., yet still charge the full fee to repurchase regardless of when or if you already own a movie with no discount offered. Yet people get all salty over a remaster considering games companies offer good discounted prices for previous purchases and still allow you the use of the original versions regardless of buying the remastered version.
So, do you cry
No,
about this?
No, I don't. My experience for PC, not console, but PC, is probably 70% of the time when a game that I've owned has been remastered, I've got the remaster for free. So, for example, BioShock, because I already owned BioShock 1 and 2 and Infinite, I got BioShock Remastered for free.
Yeah.
The same has happened with other games as well that have been remastered. I think the one thing that hacked me off was I didn't have one of the pieces of DLC for Skyrim, and I never got the special edition because I didn't have the full set of it. And even after I got the DLC that I was missing, I still never got the full free edition, which other people had because they had it, you know. And I mean, I can pick that up for $6.99. It's not an issue, but it just hacks me off that I was missing one piece, and it wasn't even the most expensive piece of DLC I was missing. But I think probably PC owners are different to console owners.
Yeah. Because
5 years in a console cycle could be quite a lot. You know, you look back 5 years ago, we were on 360s. Now we're on Xbox One X's.
Yeah.
Or PlayStation Pros or whatever. PlayStation 4 Pros. So, in terms of the consoles, I think that they move on quite a lot. But in terms of PCs, PCs kind of like get incremental patches for anywhere from a few months to a year, which maybe improve the graphics. And normally, you know, a lot of PC owners will be probably mid-range, so that when they buy the next leap of console, they can then go to the full-on versions of the game, which will be able, run everything at high quality of what they could previously run at a lower quality. And I think that has something to do with it as well, so that when they get a HD remake or a remaster or whatever, the leap isn't as much as they would maybe be expecting. I mean, if you look at the leap between... I did a comparison video a long time ago of the difference between the original Resident Evil and the HD remaster. Because if you remember, I was told by somebody that you can't do that. Well, I quite obviously did a side-by-side comparison. And you could see the difference, but it wasn't all that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I think, and I think console owners, they're just different mindset to PC owners. PC owners, I think that when you look at games, you think of any updates to the core game. It's like a patch, even though if it's not. But I don't personally have an issue with if they remaster a game. Like another example, what was it? Red Faction Armageddon. Was it Armageddon? The one that I got for free because it was a remastered version of the original which I had. So I think that's why probably a lot of PC owners complain, is if they're not getting something in that way. But I agree, there's no point in getting all complainy and whiny about that.
Yeah. Well, it's a very cut and dry thing what happens there, isn't it? I know it's different with other media.
Yeah.
But we all keep buying it, don't we?
We do. I mean, what's your take on it?
I feel sorry for PC gamers sometimes. I think it's more cut and dry for us.
Yeah.
Because we've got something, they'll upgrade it, and they'll give you... I mean, I know we sometimes buy it again, or they'll offer it cheaper. So I'm fine with that. And it's like when we had the BioShock, I had the 360 versions on digital. Then they brought out the remasters.
Yeah.
It was the remaster of the first one, I think it was, wasn't it? Out of the three. And the others were good enough to come out as they were. But it looked great. I've not got a problem with that, And I got them pretty cheap. But I think it's when you're looking at the £50 mark for games, they try to cash in on it and they try to take the mick out of it. That's when it gets a bit much.
Yeah.
Especially for an old game.
Yeah.
And in some cases, some games, they do give you the upgrades for free. Like, I mean, there's quite a few games that Microsoft have given you the Xbox One X enhanced upgrade.
Well, latest one being Borderlands 2. The Handsome
Collection, exactly. So there are times when we get some good stuff out of it.
Yeah, but it's not often.
No, but from Xbox's point of view, a lot of their games, they will give you the upgrades on some of these games for free because you got the latest Xbox.
Yeah.
So, which is quite good.
So it makes the most out of what you've bought.
Yeah, absolutely, it does.
Like the 4K update to Burnout Paradise. And then they released the remaster of Burnout Paradise, which I just wonder whether or not they just got rid of the 360 logo at the beginning, to be honest.
Oh dear, that's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, as I did Toad, do you want to do Nicky's as well?
Okay, I'll do Nicky's.
While I'm having a drink.
Yeah. So, should the Soul games have an easy mode? I used to love third-person adventure games like Soul Fighter and Fable years ago, but don't have the patience to I can't see it.
To start again.
To
To get good.
To get good, yeah.
Yeah,
It's spelled good with a U.
Well done, Nicky.
Yeah. So what do you think then? Should games like...
I'm not a great fan of these Soul games, but I think they should be an easier mode slotted in there. It won't detract from anyone that wants to play it hardcore, but it just makes it more accessible for the noobs of this world that find it a bit tough.
To be honest, I mean, I know that a lot of people say, they like, if you're not a gamer unless you like a Dark Souls game.
Mm.
I find them quite boring. Don't get me wrong, lovely and interesting worlds, but a lot of the games is sometimes quite a bit of repetition and grind on them. And to be honest, I think that sometimes the games are made just needlessly difficult.
Yeah.
And I just think it's, some people try and put a mystery and a mythos around them about only hardcore gamers. No, that's rubbish. Hardcore gamers will play any another, all different types of games, not just Dark Souls. Dark Souls is a perfect example, and Bloodborne as well, where they've escalated the difficulty of getting the bosses so much that it forces you into a multiplayer PvE kind of universe at times, which you might not want to play. So, and I'm not a big fan, because Destiny does this with Crucible, and it drives me nuts as well. Yeah. I'm not a big fan where it makes you go down a route. Like, for example, raids that require 6 people. Stupid. You should be able to do the raid solo. You should be able to do it as a group. What they should do is ramp up the difficulty each time that you do a raid with more people.
Yeah.
That would work better, because it'd mean that people like playing on their own can do so. People like doing it in a group can do so, and everybody wins. But for some reason, they force you down these routes, which people don't want to do sometimes. And, what we actually get nowadays is the game developers, or rather, not the game developers, but, the software houses that they're developing for, like Activision, EA, turning round to us and saying, people don't want single-player games anymore. That's the biggest load of rubbish going. What that is we don't want to develop a single-player game because we don't get as much cash from microtransactions. That's what they're saying, but they're parceling it up with different words to say a completely different thing. But what they want is people playing multiplayer where they can constantly be selling people, your character, it's got a green scarf, we'll give it a yellow one, and we'll charge you, £1.99. And then here's a gun, it's exactly the same gun, but this one's got black and white stripes, so therefore that's another £1.99. And that's what they do. And, and we know that they do that. And then they try and sell us, you don't want this, when it's exactly what we do. And people have fought against this, and that's why I think we've got the Jedi Fallen Order game coming out.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I'm all for these single player games. I don't think they should ever try and tag on a multiplayer to a BioShock game. It's ridiculous.
No.
If anything, what they should do is then give you more content for story. Work on that instead.
Yeah.
And that would even enhance it even better, because it'd be great to go back to. And they did that, and they made it better for me when they did the third game with the last bit of DLC, which, if any of you have not played that piece of DLC, you're missing out on something to do with the BioShock world, which would put a big smile on your face at the end of the day. I don't want to say what it is and what happens. I mean, it's been mentioned before, but you check out the last piece of DLC for the last BioShock game. It's awesome, brilliant. It really closes the story down on the three games.
Yeah.
But with the way, I mean, I'm not a Souls a Souls lover at all. But then I'd love to see a little easier mode thrown into Cuphead. I'm not a bad gamer, to be honest, and I can hold up my own. But sometimes some things just ain't going to work with your hands and your brain. Maybe, I don't know. It's great for the little 9-year-old kids that have got the reaction time of a whippet.
I don't think it's even the reaction time. I think it's they have the time to sit and learn and learn patterns.
It is, because, well, yes, in the case of Cuphead, you have got to learn the movement of the character that you're fighting against. And you've got to watch each quarter of that boss fight to know where to miss, where to hit, where not to go, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So it's a bit of Pavlovian conditioning then. Behaviouralist learning. That's what it is. Just repeating the same thing over and over again until you learn it. Yeah. Which is not, to me, is not playing a game. To me, playing a game is figuring something out. A puzzle or something like that. Rather than just repeating it, doing the same thing until you happen to beat it. That's not skill. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, anyway, should we move on to the last question, because this will be interesting.
Go on then.
So it's Alan Cochrane. He's asking us, who is your favourite movie director and why? That's a big choice.
You could say loads.
Well, can you pick one?
No.
I've got one already. I've got one in my head, because I've got two, but I'm not going to say both of them for now anyway, because another day could bring up a question like this. But
oh no, I think you should. What are both of yours?
Well, I'm going to put. Well, I have got some old directors with some, like Hitchcock, for example, which you don't. He's just sublime in what he's made over the years. Yeah. And Robert Wise for doing The Day the Earth Stood Still, which I adore. And then full circle on that, he directed the Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Mm-hmm. But if you know me and you know what my favourite science fiction movie of all time is, then you'll know who I would talk about. But before I say him, I would go. If we had a top two like this, number 2 would be James Cameron. Mm-hmm. And if you look at his list of movies on the Internet Movie Database, you can see why they're there. You've got the Aliens movie. You've got True Lies, Terminator. You've got
The Abyss.
So yeah, I love the Abyss movie.
Avatar.
I've seen it for a few years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it now? He's up to on directing at the moment. He's got 2 to 5. He's doing. So there's quite a few there. But I will put one director to you because of one film.
Oh no.
And that is Ridley Scott. Because to me it is always going to be my favourite sci-fi movie of all time, and it's going to be Blade Runner. Mm-hmm. It's just pure classic. It's a masterpiece. I can build this up so much, but then I know a lot of people I can talk about that think it's so slow and it doesn't work. But for me, it's just an amazing piece of cinema history. Whether it's talking about the acting, the soundtrack, the set design, everything with that film, it just all works. Mm. What about you then? Have you got one or two that come to mind? Or have I prompted you for one at least?
I have loads of directors who, I could say, because to be honest, I mean, I've listened to, podcasts like The Wrong Reel. I've listened to podcasts like Film 89 and, how...
There's loads, isn't there?
Yeah. And the simple fact of the matter is, I'm not so fussed on who stars in it. I'm not so fussed on who's directed it or who wrote it or who did the script, because I take each movie as its own thing. Just because you've got a director who's directed one thing does not give you a seal of quality for the next thing. So I take each movie on its own. I would say in terms of, directors who, I would completely agree with you with Ridley Scott. I would completely agree with you with James Cameron. But I would also say maybe Francis Ford Coppola because of, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
No, hold on a minute. The Godfather. Comes straight off the back. Just my favourite gangster movie ever.
Yeah.
I just love that series. I could watch them. I'd never get bored of watching the Godfather series.
Yeah.
At all.
Stanley Kubrick because of 2001.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg because of God, how many movies has he done?
God, Steven Spielberg, and that's all we need to say because, it's never. We can have favourites, and I can say I'll have a favourite director because I've got an all-time favourite movie. Yeah, of course. But then I've got the love for Jaws.
Yeah.
And 100 other movies. I've got some old movies I adore that are. The black and white. I would say Alfred Hitchcock. He's a master in his own self.
Yeah. David Lynch.
Yeah, Lawrence of Arabia comes to mind.
Mm.
And it's I do like directors for that idea, But it's like everything. I've got favourite guys that do scores and for the soundtracks, but then you have favourite actors, so it all mixes in together.
Yeah, exactly. But like David Lynch also did like Twin Peaks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so and
Blue Velvet.
Yeah, that they're both absolute classics as well.
I'm on about Ridley Scott. I mean, the latest thing he did come to mind was The Martian, which is a fantastic movie.
Yeah. And
going back a bit, you had Thelma and Louise. If you're a 90s person, you had Gladiator.
Yeah.
Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. Prometheus as well. Depends how you want to.
Yeah. But then,
what's your favourite?
You could say Christopher Nolan. So, you've got Inception, The Dark Knight.
Trilogy.
Yeah. Interstellar.
Yeah.
There's just so many. It's so, George Lucas. We wouldn't have had Star Wars, God's sake.
Yeah.
There was just so many. Peter Jackson with The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Less so about King Kong.
I was looking at those the other day because I haven't dogged that box out for a while. You need a long time for that, though.
You do.
It's just but no, it's we all got a love for movies. I mean, there's so much you can talk about. It's never ending, isn't it?
Yeah, but like I said, I have that approach to movies. Is I'm not bothered about who or what has made it. I look at it as an ensemble on its own. So, that's why I don't concentrate on who is the director, who is the producer, who has done the score. To me, that's irrelevant secondary information. It's like, I think it's probably where we divide as well on Star Trek. Because in terms of Star Trek, I would say out of the two of us, you're more into the background, like who directed this particular episode or whatever. You'd know all of that, but I would probably know more about what the story was about and the character names and stuff like that and what planet they were on. I would concentrate on that side of it. You would concentrate on...
It's a bit of both sometimes. It
just
depends.
But it is for both of us. But I'm just saying, generally speaking,
You can be general if you want. But I'm corporal.
I'd be Field Marshal.
Yeah.
But, in general, I think that it's just different ways in which we...
well, it depends how you look at your hobby sometimes. It depends on what you learn and what you read, what you look at. It's a lot of everything, really. I sat and watched Shore Leave yesterday afternoon. I hadn't watched a Star Trek episode for donkeys from the original series.
That is an absolute classic movie with the Follow the Right Rabbit.
That's it, and Alice, McCoy's looking at himself thinking, oh, do I need a break or what?
And Finnegan.
Yeah, he needs a good slap up the arse, doesn't he?
Hi, Jim Laddie.
It's funny because it's good quality as well, those Blu-rays. I watched the enhanced version, obviously, because you get the planets look more realistic, don't they, and stuff like that, with the good CGI's in there.
Yeah.
But the quality of the discs are brilliant. They really look good.
And you know one director we've never mentioned? John Carpenter.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams as well. Another one you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I would say out of the modern crowd, J.J. is my favourite. Because it is almost like a mark of quality with him. He's the nearest director, because, you know, that director I've ever come across who's kept very consistent. Because, you know, it's like...
Well, he had his background in TV as well to help him, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, you look at George Lucas, it's a bit of a roller coaster. Exactly the same as, you know, people like James Cameron and Ridley Scott. Sometimes they make not so good movies.
No, they don't. I mean, we can question some of those Alien movies.
Yeah.
The Prometheus and that. They got they're more about the lore and not more about what you want to see in the movie, maybe. I don't know. It's... You know, and you've got Titanic and The Abyss, for example. You know, The Abyss is coming out in 4K soon. They're rebuilding that at the moment, so that'd be awesome to see. Yeah, no, there's so much there's so much stuff to grab hold of and sort of consume, and let alone movies that are coming out at the minute. Just not enough time in a day, is there?
No, exactly.
And not enough bigger wallet as well.
Very true, very true.
Yeah.
But, I mean, because you like Danny Elfman, don't you, as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of the scores where he... Yeah, with I mean, the Batman score for Michael Keaton is just fantastic. You know, but I wouldn't think of... I haven't seen Dumbo yet, but he did the score for that, but there's a lot of musical stuff in that, so it's probably not my cup of tea. But
to be honest, because I don't concentrate on that, I wouldn't be able to think of directly as the way that you do about a movie that
how I'm digesting it sometimes is a little different, maybe.
Yeah, we digest the movies very differently. I mean, you know, it's like I happen to know that, you know, Danny Elfman did the music or composed music for Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, but
it's kind of like more by accident than
and Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
you know. I love I love that score. That's one of my latest ones I picked up. It's brilliant. It really is good.
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, it's just how you want to relive a movie as well. Sometimes, especially with listening to soundtracks, that I can listen to a score and watch the movie in my head at the same time. You know.
See, the other thing as well is you watch the special features on movies much more than I do. It's very rare that I'll watch them.
It depends what it is. If we've not seen a document, actually saying that, I've just ordered a documentary on Amazon. Actually, it's coming tomorrow, which is the documentary to Apocalypse Now.
Right.
So I've just ordered that for £7. So that should be interesting. But yeah, because I've done that Kickstarter, for example, haven't I?
Yeah.
Which is on horror movies, which isn't your cup of tea at all.
No. But we can't like it. We can't like everything.
No, of course we can't. And it's also therefore you get two tails of the coin. You know, obviously you might watch the odd horror movie or something. It's a thriller that might have some bit of blood and gore in it, maybe. But it's not like you probably were going to see Hellraiser or something like that.
No.
Or Reanimator. Oh, you should check out one of those movies one day.
Well, I've watched Reanimator. I used to quite like movies like that. I've watched Hellraiser. It's just not my bag anymore. That's all. Yeah. But you know, it's like, you know, like you'll come out with that. I'll concentrate on the lore of a film. So I'd, you know, especially if it's a collection of movies, I'd look at the inconsistencies and the consistencies. So, you know, I can, in the same way that you can say, this Bond movie, so-and-so did this music track, which, to be fair, on Bond movies is probably the one where I can actually start to more differentiate between it. But I would wax lyrical on consistency and inconsistency between Bond and in terms of, as a franchise and that sort of stuff.
Well, it's different because with Bond, we both love those movies dearly. We have our favourite movies that were Bond.
Yeah.
And there are some good ones, there's some bad ones.
Yeah.
And
it's like I always have said that For Russia With Love is one of my worst Bond movies, but some people love it.
Well, that's where it came out of its shell from Dr. No, because Dr. No was a sort of Jamaican story that we're getting the background on James Bond. Sean Connery stepping into the character for the first time, and then we got From Russia With Love with Spectre real deep in that, and you've got Robert Shaw as the henchman, and then you swiftly move on to something like Goldfinger, which is fantastic.
To me, Goldfinger was the start properly of Bond. I think it took them a couple of movies to get the format. I think they had it closer on the format on Dr. No, and then I think that they moved in the wrong direction on From Russia With Love, and then when they went on to Goldfinger next, I think that was when they hit the Bond formula. And I think that carried on right up until Timothy Dalton, and then the wheel started wobbling. Maybe with A View to a Kill as well, and Octopussy, they were a bit shaky.
Well, A View to a Kill was Roger Moore's swan song, wasn't it?
Yeah. But Octopussy wasn't that good. Maud Adams in it, you got to like it. She's gorgeous. Her second appearance as a Bond girl.
Yeah. At least she survived that one, and not like in Man with the Golden Gun, where she got a bullet in her head.
Yeah, exactly. Mind you, I still love that bit where she's in the shower and Roger Moore comes in and she's, "Pass me something," and he hands her a pair of shoes.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. It's it's so much you can digest on these sort of things,
Yeah.
And I was just looking the other day when I was looking at the box set we got, the 50th anniversary box set.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the last Bond movie was crap. Really, it just didn't work. I don't mind Daniel Craig as actors go. He's done some other good movies as well, but
he's not Bond. Well, actually, he could be Bond, but
depends how the director wants to produce this film but bring it together.
They've changed the formula of Bond, and I think it's lost a lot.
There's more action probably in Mission Impossible these days.
Yeah. To me, the Bond movies since Daniel Craig have not been what Bond's been about. I think they've done a reimagining, and it just doesn't wash with me.
Yeah, and it's funny because I don't know if you listened to when I was talking to in Wrong Reel, and I still think they should have given George Lazenby a second crack at the whip, because that ain't a bad movie. I think An Emergency Secret Service it's a good film.
No, I agree. George Lazenby, I think, got a bit of a bum rap, but it was evidently because he was such an obnoxious person on set.
Because he was Australian, go on.
It was because he was full of himself, because he was James
No, he was.
Bond.
I mean, yeah, because who wouldn't be, though, to be honest?
Yeah.
Maybe he was too big-headed, but, I do like that movie. It looks fantastic. The cinematography in the mountains looks gorgeous. Who doesn't like a bit of Kojak?
Yeah.
It's a villain. Telly Savalas.
Yeah,
and I think that was quite a long film as well, if memory serves. That was longer than most of the other Bond movies were.
But the thing is, they completely ruined that with Spectre by making Blofeld his, long-lost adopted brother. That was so stupid.
Oh, you're talking about the latest movie?
Yeah. They completely ruined On Her Majesty's Secret Service by doing that on Spectre, or the other way around.
No, I would say
Spectre, very much like
that just sort of pulled the rug under our feet on the backstory that we've seen over the years through seeing Blofeld get it in Diamonds Are Forever, if I remember rightly, at the beginning, and then but that character there, he was never related to him, was he? It's
no.
odd. He was his nemesis, for Christ's sake, yeah.
I just have a feeling that on that day, when they were doing writing ideas, I think Ryan Johnson must have walked in and said, "Hey, I have an idea," because it seems something as stupid that he would put in, to be honest. And the film was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm glad I can go back and watch any of the others, though. I probably will dig one out at some point again. I know you would probably watch Spy Who Loved Me.
I'd watch that all the time, yeah. If that to me that was a pinnacle of Bond. Was A Spy Who Loved Me. It had everything that James Bond should have had. It had an over the top, megalomaniac, multi-billionaire who was hell-bent on taking over the world. He had his underwater secret lair that could rise from, the ocean, called Atlantis.
See, I preferred the lair in the volcano and You Only Live Twice.
Oh, I loved that as well. I'd loved that. That was a second.
That gives me the. That always thinking now, because of what we've had over the years. I just think of the comical comedian, with his take on
Austin Powers, Mike Myers.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's it. Couldn't spit it out then. You know what I mean, with what he was doing, but he was taking the mick out of that anyway. So
yeah. And all I want was sharks with frickin' lasers.
yeah, that's it. It's
yeah, that was so fun. That was so. I love the Austin Powers movies, to be honest, as well. I think that they're just brilliant. Less so Goldmember, but the first two were absolutely superb homages to early Bond, I think.
And even having Tom Cruise in the beginning.
Yeah.
With Danny DeVito.
Yeah. And Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, that's right. He was in it as well. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. Excellent movies.
Anyway, it's 9:30. We're going to call it a day.
I'm happy to call it a day.
Okay, so just a bit of contact information. So Twitter @Steve007, PSN ID, The Real Steve007, Xbox Steve007, and email. Forget that. Just chat to me on Twitter. That'll work.
Or Steve007 at popculturegamers.co.uk. And one of these days he'll learn how to open his email.
Or if not, if not, you can just go Steve.Simpson. Go on, crack on. Oh, no, I died you.
Okay, so you digest. What, you're going to eat it?
Yeah. I've got my pudding to have for dinner, yeah? I haven't eaten that yet.
Fair enough. So my contact details, basically you can get me on YouTube, Twitter, PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, Origin, GOG, Uplay, whatever as HERJUK. You can email the show. It's podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk. As well, we have our Facebook group, Pop Culture Gamers. We also have our website, popculturegamers.podbean.com. Don't forget you can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, using your Amazon Echo with our Alexa skill. You can also support the show on Patreon if you want to, and you can also support the show in other ways by... sorry, my Amazon Echo's talking in the background.
I turn mine off.
Stop.
I turn mine off when we do this now. I'm in darkness. I could do it, put the lights on.
I'm in darkness as well, to be honest. So you can also support the show in other ways if you don't want to donate to our Patreon, because nobody has wanted to. So what you can do is you can repost, retweet, whatever, the fact that the show's on as well. We're also trying to get the numbers up on our YouTube channel, Pop Culture Gamers, up to enough so that we can actually secure the name. So if you won't mind, just pop along there and just subscribe, even if you're going to unsubscribe later, just so that we can get the right numbers to be able to secure that as well. And that's it.
So that's a wrap then.
So what are you going to call this show?
Don't know yet. We'll talk about it in a minute.
He's going to keep us in anticipation.
So anyway, so it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
Good night.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.